Smooth 981 FM. And we're currently streaming live up on youtube.com/Smooth 981 FM Lagos. All right, so Rotus. Yeah, and I'm sure this is a conversation that everybody's going to want to jump in on, because go ahead and explain what on earth is going on with Zamfara right now. And
yeah, so Zamfara, it's been pretty bad. Yeah, it's been pretty bad. Zamfara State, and you can hear me clearly, yeah?
Yes. Loud and clear.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so Zamfara State, just yesterday or the day before, said that all citizens can get, guns in order to protect themselves from the attacks that have been incessant. I think this quarter, first 3 months of this year, about 1,700 people have died from attacks. I think Niger, Kaduna, and Zamfara lead the way as far as the numbers of fatalities from attacks. So the government said that essentially they can get a permit from the, I guess, Inspector General of Police or something, or they can secure their own legal guns in order to protect themselves from attack. So I was thinking about as far as the pros and the cons, what are they if you were to spread that across the rest of the nation? Basically, if you legalized firearms in Nigeria, what's the pros and the cons? So I was thinking about it over the weekend. So we can just, go over them and get the thoughts of yourself and I guess thoughts of listeners. So from what I was thinking, as far as the economics of it, you're going to create more jobs. You would create more jobs by revitalizing steel manufacturing, right? Ajaokuta steel, I'm not sure if it's formatted for carbon steel and stainless steel, but essentially, guns are mostly manufactured from carbon steel or stainless steel. So you're getting if you're either making it locally, which is kind of questionable, or you're bringing in foreign gun manufacturers into the country. Because you are trying to legalize and proliferate them, then you are creating jobs. It's like any other company coming into Nigeria to set up shop. If you think about telecoms or anything else, right? So there's job creation there. Secondly, there's a
wait, hold on, Rotus. Before we get to the secondly, let's just dwell on firstly for a second. What, given our history, would make you think that we would localize production?
So we have an issue. That's the thing. So it's either two options. It's either you are localizing production, or you are allowing foreign firms come in and set up here. So because, like I said, the Ajaokuta steel is moribund, and unfortunately, if Ajaokuta steel was working, we'd have a higher amount of volume of vehicle production in Nigeria. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So that's why I'm allowing for leaving local production aside, foreign firms coming in. If you like, I was looking at South Africa. South Africa has legalized guns, and South Africa has a list of a number of gun manufacturers that produce locally there. So if you wanted to sign some kind of MOU with South Africa or with South African gun manufacturers, they would come in and theoretically hire people here in order to set up shop. So it's either local or you import. Now, of course, importing means that there is a foreign exchange dynamic to that, that's just Nigeria for you. So that's the dynamic there. For insurance, if you think about the fact that everybody who has a car is supposed to be insured, you can have insurance companies underwrite policies to make sure that if you're a gun owner, you have to be insured. That if it's outside the realm of self-defense, if you accidentally discharge and either injure somebody or put them in the hospital or kill them, you will be liable for their hospital fees and so on. And so there's policies that can be written to foresee that, which would increase activity for insurance companies here. Again, theoretical. There's even a boost to the legal side. If you, outside of self-defense, be proven that you killed somebody by accident, or you will be open not just to criminal charges, but to a civil suit where you can be sued by the surviving family members. So that's giving another boost to the legal profession here. And then for medical services, I was on the Twitter Spaces on Friday or Saturday, and I heard a psychiatrist say that the ratio of psychiatrists to Nigerians is 1 to 1 million. Maybe she was exaggerating, but I don't know that many therapists, although we on the Marketplace of Business Hub a while back, but they're not that many. Anyway, my point is that as far as boosting that sector, you would mandate as a government that not only do you have to get insured, you have to get a psychiatric evaluation to make sure that you're not a temperamental person who is prone to just going out and shooting people if things go wrong. So that now, by if you mandate that, you give a boost to the medical profession in terms of the psychiatric wards, you get a boost to, or therapists rather, boost to the legal profession by opening up the possibility of civil suits if you kill anybody or hurt them, and also the insurance sector as well, and also manufacturing and jobs. Again, that's just the pros as far as what it would mean for the economy. On the cons, there's the increase in cost. Yeah, so now not everybody's gonna, a gun, your average, Glock or whatever costs a lot of money and it's in dollars. So it's very expensive. When you layer that along, you layer insurance costs on top of that, you layer the possibility of having to pay out of your own pocket to go see a therapist to get mentally evaluated, it would create a divide to where it's only the elites, people who can afford to have those guns would have them, and then poor Nigerians would be left out. Then, of course, there's the increase in smuggling. Right now, as we speak, I think about the number is 3.4 to almost 4 million illegal guns are floating around South Africa plus Zambia and around that southern region. And because it's legalized, so of course, some guns will be lost, they'll be stolen, and they fall into the hands of organized crime, mafia people, kidnapping. So there's that. And then there's the main one that a lot of people talk about here in Nigeria, the increase in violence, because people here are angry. You see people fighting on the side of the road, bus conductors and passengers, people who get into fender benders on the road, and so on and so forth. So if you were to legalize guns, you will possibly see an increase in violence and possible deaths and so on. But, Chokwe, at the end of the day, human beings cannot be sitting ducks. As we are in Nigeria, you can pay for,
Yeah, so I completely understand where you're coming from with we can't just be sitting there and awaiting our doom. And this is not a conversation that is new in terms of what we've been talking about, the economic impact of banditry, of terrorism on these states. For example, how viable is Zamfara right now when it comes to being a place for investment to go to, when it comes to IGR, when it comes to all these different factors that make up a healthy, thriving, successful state? What would we say about that but then again, so my question would be, how exactly do we weigh the economic cost of terrorism, banditry, which the bandits are now terrorists, versus the economic costs of people owning guns and what they could do from just having these certain people, subsect of the citizenry, who are operating outside of the rule of law with them versus everybody with them. How do we begin to even count the costs?
Yeah, so Zamfara is gone. Nobody goes there. The government has just shut down.
Well, Rotus, the way you said it, it's like if you look at the map of Nigeria, Zamfara is no longer there.
It's not. It's just. These attacks have been happening now for so many years now. It is not a safe state. You have to consider the level of desperation when a government comes out and says that this is what they're going to be doing. So, as far as investment, as far as internally generated revenue, that's out the window. It's just not viable at this point. Zamfara depends on FAC allocations, which I think dropped again in May. NNPC hasn't made any deposits into the federation. Subsidy is so high. So, and then they are, like everybody else in Nigeria, they're also facing high inflation, high food prices. You now put on top of that, you now layer on top of that the insecurity issues, that's gone. So it's desperate mode now for them. And, when desperate times call for desperate measures, there are definitely hurdles to this. If you want to scale this across the rest of the country, it's a serious matter. But in the same way that you can take boxing classes or judo or taekwondo or mixed martial arts or whatever to protect yourself with your bare hands, and you can pay for them here in Nigeria, one has to, you got to just consider it as far as firearms are concerned, because the the playing field has been changed.
Okay, Rotus, so I've got tons of messages coming in on WhatsApp and on YouTube. So I'll start off with YouTube because Sifri Ashe up on YouTube on the live stream says, can we please stop talking about Ajaokuta? It's a failed project with obsolete technology and it has become a slush fund for every government. Privatize, please, privatize. Whilst Peter Arokola says, Rotus rates these politicians highly for him to think they will have an inclination towards this thought pattern. Okay, Peter, thank you for that.
Well, Zamfara has done it. Zamfara is doing it. So there you go. I mean,
I don't know. Are we going to see Benue doing this next? It's interesting. This one in from Dami, who says, another pro is that it will boost the mortuary and casket making industry. Oh, Lars Benga who says, I hope we're not seeing a descent into a nominee. Easy access to guns will generate more tensions and unpremeditated attacks on innocent people. In other words, we'll be legalizing merchants of death. He also says we already have a large number of arms, albeit in the wrong hands. The country is already on the edge, and putting guns in the hands of people will exacerbate the situation. There was an incident that occurred last Friday involving a popular Nollywood actor and area boys. I wonder what would have happened if one of the parties had a gun. Probably commiseration messages and such would have been sent by now. Zamfara has gold and other minerals, and that is the background for the crisis in the state that the government is unwilling to deal with. Who are those involved in illegal mining there? Where is all the gold money? Lots of messages coming in. This one in from Ogene Ochuko says, the issue of insecurity cannot be addressed by buying guns only, but human capital development should be the topmost priority. Education and economy reform will reduce these social vices. Again, instead of buying guns, we should decentralize our security apparatus. Oh, what do you say to that?
That makes sense, but unfortunately, where things are, I don't know how long-term, that's just long-term. It's not a short-term solution to what we're seeing.
Okay, this one in from Otunuga, who says, Nigeria's government, Nigeria's government is running away from the reality facing us. Owning guns is not the solution to our problem. The only solution, and puts this in capital letters, is to restructure the economy and devolve power to the states and have a semi-weak central. By doing so, the regions and states will take care of their security and people can be put to work. Banditry would reduce and we would all be able to move on. Whoa, okay, let's see. More messages. This one in from Yinka Bolu, who says, with the level of anger on the streets, real-time and virtual, case in point, Twitter, especially the Twitter spaces that Rotus is attending, legalizing guns will never make sense to me. How about we look at the aspect of state and local government policing, good remuneration for them with other benefits like insurance and all. And please, we need to end this whole idea of having the police domiciled in barracks. They're civil, so let them live amongst us. And let me take in a final one from Michael, who says, I did a survey and we have lots of people still working under Ajaokuta ministry. And I wonder what they're doing. The ministry is not making money, yet we have people working there.
Just like the refineries. Just like the refineries.
That's all. Okay, so thank you all for sending your messages in, and Rotus, thank you for this. We have come to the end of Business Express. Of course, this is a big topic that everybody, would like to have their opinion stated on. So if you want to just keep on discussing this, make sure you just take it over to Twitter. We are at Smooth981FM, and you can find Rotus at Rotanquote. It's not going anywhere. We'll be there waiting for your messages, and he'll be responding. All right, Rotus.
Yeah, thanks, Shopper. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody.
See you tomorrow. And that is that.